unbelievable. It just turned out absolutely beautiful. And I don't know, there's just a few caregivers here, my family, caregivers, my neighbors, my friends. If it hadn't been for all of them, it never would have happened to keep Ted home the way his dream was. And it did. And we pulled it off, everyone, family, friends, neighbors, all of them. And it was just a really beautiful thing, even though he was sick, it was, because we were able to be with him all the time. Anyway, there was a few things I wanted to say today, and I didn't want to tie up a bunch of time in the chapel, and I liked visiting with everybody at the reception. But someone asked me earlier, how did I meet Ted? I met him where LA Fitness is, as Carlene said, on Whittier Boulevard. It was a drive-in called Whirly's. I had a good friend named Vern, which he wasn't there today, who was like a brother to me. And we went with my girlfriend. He took us to Whirly's, and we were hanging out there. And this guy and him, he got out of the car because he didn't want to be seen with two girls in his car because he wanted to go meet other girls because he was like a brother to us. So we were sitting in his car, and pretty soon here comes Vern back with this guy, and they all jump in the front seat of the car. And four of us are in the front seat. I'm like, what's going on? There's going to be a drag race. We got to get up there. Well, it was drag race on 5th Avenue, which is Kalima by the mall. Up by the mall. It was all dark. It was farmland. So there was a big drag race there. So anyways, that all went on. We went back to Whirly's when it was over with or whatever. It dead end into Azusa. Kalima did not come through. You had to turn right on Azusa and catch Valley to get out of there. Anyway, so, I guess the next day, Vern, my friend, calls up and he says, hey, you know that guy that, Ted, that jumped in the car? And I said, yeah, what about him? He wants to know if you want to go cruising with him in his Corvette. And I said, what's a Corvette? I had no idea what a Corvette was. And I said, I don't know. And I finally said, okay. So anyway, we started dating, and before this ever happened, my best friend got married at the age of 16, believe it or not, after her sophomore year in high school, and they stayed married. She just passed away last year. So her husband was at work, and still being 16-year-olds, she says, hey, let's go cruise up to Bob's Drive-In in Pasadena. I said, okay, So she picks me up. I lived in East LA. We were heading up north on Atlantic, and we're going past the Atlantic Square. Anybody knows where that is. It's in Monterey Park. And we're passing this 76 Union Station. And when you're a young girl, you think, God, I wonder if I ever met the guy I'm going to wind up with, And so we're driving, and I look over and I tell my friend Helen, I said, wow, check that car out in that gas station. That is really a cool car. Boy, wouldn't that be great to go out with that guy? And she says, yeah, whatever, because she's married already. Who cares? So we went on. Well, after going out with Ted for a couple of days or a week or so, he mentioned that he worked at the 76 gas station at Atlantic Square. I said, you did? I says, God, did you know the guy that owned that really cool 55 Chevy? He says, yeah, that was me. And here I am, 67 years later.
Baby.
Hook, line, and sinker.
I love that story.
Fell for the oldest trick in the book.
Then, to tell you a little more about Ted's personality, and then I'll shut up. So we dated for about a year, And so then this one Saturday morning, didn't call me. We didn't have cell phones then. Didn't call me, nothing. I'm at my house in my pajamas, cleaning house for my mom, and the doorbell rings, and it's Ted. And I said, what are you doing here? You didn't tell me you were coming over. He says, you're in your pajamas? I said, yeah, I'm cleaning house. He says, well, let me tell you something. He said, you better go change your clothes. And he says, we better get down to Lawson's Jewelers at the Atlantic Square and get an engagement ring, because if you don't, I'm going to go out and buy a 4-speed for the Corvette. I stood there and said, is this supposed to be a proposal to me? And he says, yeah, I guess so. And so that's how we,
Oh my gosh.
and here we are.
Can I piggyback off that for 2 seconds? In the garage, he jokingly used to say, I should have bought the 4-speed.
He did.
There you
And
go.
after I
And he'd say, don't ever get married. If you ever find out you're getting married, I'll kick your ass.
Yeah, that was him.
Or banks or whatever.
Yeah. You had a whole ass rock.
So
What's
just-
happening,
And then I gotta tell a famous story about Savannah. Okay. We went to pick her up at daycare one time, and you know, he's in there. I don't know what to do with this stupid car seat. He's putting it in there and whatever. So we take
We
off.
didn't have them when you guys had little ones.
Well, yeah, we didn't. So anyway, he put Savannah in the car seat and all that. I don't know, you're about 3-4 years old, however you were. And he comes out and makes a left on Whittier Boulevard. She's going, Grampy, Grampy. And I turned around. She says, Grampy, you turned me over. So the car seat's laying over. She's laying over on her side.
It's fine.
And then, famous things. What was the famous thing since you were little? Every time he come to see you, what did he ask you? Are you driving yet? Ever since she was like this, he'd say, are you driving yet? Well, when she finally started, I said, guess what? You can't ask her if she's driving yet, because she is. So that's some of the stories anyway. There's tons of them, but I'm so grateful to all of you. I am so pleased. He had such a wonderful turnout, wonderful friends, family, and neighbors and caregivers. There were caregivers there that I didn't get a chance to really talk to, but they all know who they are, and he had a great family to take care of him, and friends, like I said, and caregivers, and so, and now he's at peace, and I'm at peace with it too, because he's resting now.
Amen.
Amen.
He never would have wanted to live the way he was living. So,
Absolutely not.
yeah. Anyways, all right.
Nastrovia.
Okay, and I need a chorus. Hey, everybody should get a chorus. Who? All right, who's got chorus?
Raise a course.
In spirit, I have 2 litters to kill now, so I think I get to live twice as long. I think that's really.
Okay. Well, I don't have to pour the beer on it.
Don't worry about the beer.
I don't like beer, but I'm gonna.
I don't care about the microphone. Get it closer to your mouth.
For you.
No, it's just tequila.
Let me know when you're ready.
Oh, wait, my phone. Wait, girls, take a picture of that. Hold on.
If you need more, Justin, or need my fridge?
Well, I have it reserved. I'm not gonna have it.
Isn't it? Or no?
Everybody have their
I
chorus?
have my secret stash.
Y'all have your chorus?
What? How do you know what that is?
Am I still waiting? Oh, he's got one. Are we ready?
We're ready.
Ready. All right, Ted, here we go. You know how I hate beer, but here we go. The chorus goes.
To Ted.
Chug, chug.
Choke them if they can't take a fuck.
Chug, chug, chug. That's exactly what he would say. His grandson's taking after him.
Justin Ryan.
Okay, I'm done with it.
We all need another